Have you ever looked at a successful artist and thought, how are they managing all of this? They're selling regularly, being featured in various magazines and publications, landing commissions, and showing up online without looking like it's a huge effort. Well, in today's video, I want to pull the curtain back and show you what's really going on behind the scenes, because it's not luck and it's definitely not about cracking some mysterious algorithm. It's about habits, intentional, strategic ones that build over time and that you can start putting in place from today. For more videos and all things related to art business, be sure to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell to get notified every time I release a new video. Before we dive in, let me introduce myself if you're new here. I'm Martha and I worked in the contemporary art world for over a decade. I worked my way up in my career working in contemporary art galleries in London and became a gallery director. I now help artists based all over the world to create wildly successful art businesses, and I'm about to share with you 5 powerful habits that will help you to build a sustainable and a successful art business. And these are the exact habits that I help clients implement inside of the Artist Accelerator. And I've seen them work over and over again, from artists making their first 4-figure sale to artists growing to over $250,000 in artwork sales in a single year. So if you're serious about making your art career not just profitable, but also sustainable, I would love to invite you to apply to my free advanced training on the 24th of April, where I'll be sharing more about the Artist Accelerator program, along with practical ways to create reliable and sustainable income streams without sacrificing your creativity, your integrity, or your precious time in the studio. I would love to see you there. Click the link in the description below to apply now to get your invite. So let's dive into the video. Habit number 1, being and staying organized. Now, I know it doesn't sound very glamorous, but being organized is absolutely foundational if you want to build a successful art business. And I'm not talking about having a tidy studio. I mean having real systems in place. Systems for managing your artwork, communicating with your clients, handling your finances, creating content, and promoting your work. And without these, everything takes longer, feels harder, and it's only a matter of time before something slips through the cracks. Inside the Artist Accelerator, we guide artists step by step through setting up these systems, because once that structure is in place, it frees up so much time and headspace. You're not waking up every day thinking, what do I need to do today? Because you already know, you've already got a plan, a process, and a clear view of your goals. Successful artists don't just make work, they run businesses. And every good business relies on systems that make things run smoothly behind the scenes. Let me give you an example. So Liz, she is an artist based in the north of England. She used to feel like she was always spinning plates. She had no real structure and no clear path forward. But once she joined the Artist Accelerator, I helped her put the right systems in place, and now her business runs in the background and she's not constantly trying to catch up all the time. She's actually got hours back every week, and she's using those hours to paint, and her sales have grown as a result. When you're organized, you're able to scale and you stop reinventing the wheel week after week. You know what needs doing, when and how, and most importantly, you got more time for your studio practice. Habit number 2, operating like a business every single day. This one's about mindset as much as action. If you want to build a sustainable art career, you need to show up for it like a business, not just when you feel inspired. So that means treating your studio hours as sacred. It means showing up with consistency and honoring your studio time the way that you'd honor a meeting with a collector or a gallery owner. It also means building routines that support the business side of what you do. So whether that's sending out your artist newsletter, planning your content, tracking your income and expenses, or packing your works in a professional way. Now, I know a lot of artists feel resistance when it comes to admin or the marketing side of things, and I get it. You didn't become an artist to spend all of your time working on spreadsheets, but this is part of the job when you're running your own business. And successful artists take this very seriously. They don't wait to be in the mood and only show up when they feel like it. They show up regardless and do the work. And when they're not in the studio, they're still showing up for the business side. So ask yourself, what does your weekly routine actually look like? Is there a dedicated amount of time for making and marketing your work? Do you have time set aside for planning, admin, or connecting with your audience? If not, that's what you should prioritize next. Block it out in your calendar, just like you would if you were working for someone else. Habit number 3, showing up for your audience daily. By this, I don't mean you have to be posting on Instagram 7 days a week, but I do mean showing up regularly and staying connected to the people who love and support your work. Your audience, whether that's 100 people or 10,000 people, is your future collector base, and they need to hear from you. Now, this might look like sharing behind the scenes moments from your studio, posting progress shots or what's inspiring your next piece, sending out a weekly or fortnightly newsletter, hosting a casual live session, sharing process videos or reels, or simply replying to comments and DMs in a timely way. What matters isn't doing everything, it's about doing something and doing it consistently. Because consistency builds trust, and trust is what leads to sales. One artist inside of the Artist Accelerator went from part-time to full-time artist simply by committing to showing up consistently and building genuine relationships with her audience. And another saw her following grow from around 300 to well over 1,000 in just a few months. And we're not just talking about any old followers, we're talking about interior designers and art curators. She didn't do anything out of the ordinary, she just showed up with intention, kept it consistent, and followed a simple plan. But if you're sitting here thinking, but I never know what to post, you are not alone. And that's why we teach a method inside of the Artist Accelerator to plan your content strategically and intentionally in advance. So it doesn't feel like you're constantly scrambling for ideas or posting for the sake of it. Habit number 4, speaking about your work regularly. Now, I know for a lot of artists, this one feels quite uncomfortable for some, especially if you're on the more introverted side, but speaking about your work is essential. It's how people understand what you're creating. It's how they connect emotionally to what you do, and it's how they remember you. This doesn't need to be overly formal or rehearsed. It could be chatting about a new piece with a friend over coffee. It could be writing a caption on Instagram that shares the story behind a painting, taking part in a studio visit or a critique, or simply turning up to a local art event and talking to people about what you're currently working on. A lot of artists worry that talking about the work might come across as pushy or self-important, but the truth is, most people love hearing about the creative process. They want to understand what drives your work, and they want to see what's behind the finished piece. And like anything, it gets easier the more that you do it. The key is making it a regular practice, not just something that you save up for exhibition openings or launches. The more you talk about your work, the more confident and articulate that you become. You get better at expressing your ideas, and you start to show up with more presence and authenticity. One of our Artist Accelerator clients made their biggest sale ever, €8,500, because they'd spent time building this exact muscle. So when the opportunity came up to talk about their work, they were ready. Habit number 5, consciously building a market for your work. Now, most artists wait for people to come to them, but the most successful artists, they build demand themselves. This is one of the biggest shifts that we help artists make inside of the Artist Accelerator, because the truth is, you can't rely on galleries or social media algorithms to bring in consistent sales. You need to be actively building your own market on purpose. So what does that actually look like? Growing an engaged audience who will follow and support your work over the long term, creating limited collections and running intentional launches that build anticipation, pricing your work in a way that encourages sales and builds your value over time, and steadily educating your audience on what makes your work unique and desirable to create a demand for your work. We go deep into this inside of Pricing Your Art, which is one of the bonus courses included inside of the Artist Accelerator, because pricing isn't just about numbers, it's about positioning your work in the market that you're building. And when you learn how to do this, you're no longer dependent on one platform, one gallery, or one person. You are in control. You're building a business with real momentum. One artist inside of the program sold 18 original paintings within 12 months of working together by applying this exact approach. Another went from selling £80 pieces to £12,500 works because she learned how to build demand intentionally over time. That's the key here. Building a market is a habit. It's something that you nurture consistently through strategy, storytelling, and showing up for your audience with purpose. So let's recap the 5 habits that will help you to build a successful, thriving art business. Get organized with systems that support your art and your business. Operate like a business with consistent routines. Show up for your audience in a way that builds trust and connection. Speak about your work regularly to build visibility and confidence. And consciously build your market so that demand for your work grows over time. These habits are learnable. You aren't born knowing how to do them. And you don't have to do it alone. Inside of the Artist Accelerator, we help artists implement these strategies step by step so that they can grow their audience, raise their prices, and build sustainable art businesses. If you want support building these habits and systems into your art practice, then I'd love to invite you to apply to attend the free advanced training on the 24th of April. Now, in it, I'm going to be sharing more about the Artist Accelerator program, along with practical ways to create reliable and sustainable income streams without sacrificing your creativity, integrity, or your precious time in the studio. Through the Artist Accelerator, I've helped so many clients sell out shows, go from part-time to full-time artists, book out commissions for the entire year, and build sustainable art careers that will truly stand the test of time. And it all starts with showing up and learning how to build your business the right way. All you need to do is click the link in the description below now. I'd love to see you there. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, do let me know by liking it, commenting down below, and subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.